Welcome to Thunder Live on FanDuel Sports Network, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. And the Thunder went into the win column once again, 123-103, the victory here over the 76ers. Shai got himself downhill and to the rack, 22 easy points for him tonight. J. Will just rocking and firing from behind the three-point line, continue to be effective. And how about the return of J-Dub? Playing with force downhill on both ends of the floor. Great to see him back after 16 games missed. Nick Gallo here alongside Royce Young as we wrap up this one here in Philadelphia. Game 4 of a 5-game road trip for the Thunder. And this one went about as well as you could want it to go. Look, a feisty Philly team despite being shorthanded. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doesn't even need to play the fourth quarter. And the Thunder able to get its depth into the game and play with great precision on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, a couple different sequences really were important, I think, in this game, Nick. And a lot of it was to close that first half, the Thunder kind of building a margin going into the break, did a great job stacking some defensive stops, did a really good job on VJ Edgecombe in the first half. He got a little loose there in the second half, to his credit, very good young player. But the Thunder did a good job of building a margin in that third quarter as well. Really sharp execution. SGA picking his spots, like you said, just ruthless efficiency from him tonight. 9 of 13 shooting. And then the three-point shooting from OKC. Got great rhythm looks all game long, and OKC was able to kind of build that comfortable margin and coast to the finish line.
Yeah, the defense was really key early in this game, first quarter in particular. And then as the game wore on, I mean, just the offensive onslaught that we continued to see. The three-point shot making in the first half was excellent, and then OKC was able to build out more and get more variety and diversity as the game went on. 11 made threes in the first half, and then they had a half dozen guys in double figures overall.
Yeah, and this is one of those games as you're watching it, you can just kind of see it play out of just shot quality. And, that's a metric typically you're going to go and put on your glasses for and go into the box score. But this one, you could see it kind of playing out in real time because the Thunder were just getting better shots than Philly was consistently throughout the game. Philly, to their credit, again, there was some shot making going on. VJ Edgecombe was at the forefront of that. But OKC kind of consistently was churning better offensive possessions, Nick. And to your point, it makes you kind of just stack possessions up on both ends of the floor. Thunder were getting good stops and then executing good offense. So anytime Philly made any kind of run back, got it to 14, OKC got a good possession on the other side and widened the margin back out.
Yeah, it was just that drip on offense, and it led to 33 assists in the game. So many different guys able to play off of one another. And one of the things that we've learned about this Thunder team is it's not just the guards that are able to play make for others. This team can play through its bigs as hubs. We saw a lot of that from J. Will in this game. And, of course, Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren got in the mix, too, on that backdoor pass to Lou Dort.
That was a great find from Chet right there. And you said it, Nick. I think what makes this Thunder team so dynamic and so difficult to guard is it's everybody assisting everybody. They don't have one or two primary playmakers or creators that you're relying upon to be an engine to create offense. I mean, look at this highlight tape. It's so many different players setting up the other, and just the skill and the precision that they play with. It makes the Thunder just a challenge to guard in transition and in half court when you've got so many different players that are a threat to score, and they're also a threat to set up a teammate, and that's what we saw happen all game long.
Yeah, 10 different guys were contributors to those 33 assists. As we take a look at the final stats from this game, again, the offense just sensational. Only 10 free throw attempts, and yet you're able to score 123 points. That's very impressive.
Yeah, a lot of that shot making, 18 of 41 from three is a big part of that. But, the bench production was huge for the Thunder tonight. Again, just the balanced scoring that we see from this team. A lot of people sometimes mischaracterize the Thunder. They look at them and they say, well, they got the league's MVP in SGA, 30-point score. That's going to take care of their offense. Or you get J-Dub back tonight. That's a bunch of points, a pile of points you're going to put in. You got Chet Holmgren. But there's so much balance that goes in within that where, you use it drip. There's so many different guys, 6 points, 8 points, 9 points. It just piles up to where you get an incredibly efficient offensive night.
Yeah, and then you can get these explosions from a guy like J. Will off the bench,
good point.
Who just ripped off three after three after three. We're going to talk about him in a little bit when we come back here after the break in Postgame Live, Thunder Live, and take a look at J. Will once again. Just continuing to space the floor for this team. Such a weapon at 6'10". Oklahoma. 123-103, the final score here from Philadelphia as OKC extends this winning streak to a dozen and gets a big-time win on both ends of the floor. I had a chance to catch up with J-Dub after the game. Dub, your first night back, and it seemed like you didn't miss a moment. Why were we able to be in such a great rhythm from the very outset?
We have a very good team, so I don't have to do too much.
How about physically? It just seemed like not only in shape, but just able to go in there and affect the game right away.
Like I said, get your hand off my back. Look, just put it higher up though. Like, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, no, it felt good. Like I said, we have a really good team. I think a lot of the behind the scenes was a lot of like getting in shape and like just trying to maintain, and everything after that, is cool.
How about the 33 assists? You seem to be a catalyst for the ball movement when you got in there. What was working offensively to just continue to get good looks for the team all night?
I wish I heard that whole sentence. I got the end of it. We play together. I think that's the easiest part about coming back is everybody plays really unselfish, so it's really easy to kind of fit in and get your feet under you, and everybody's really unselfish. That starts all the way from Shai all the way down to, the last man on the bench. Even when we have blowouts, guys come in and play the right way. So it's a good organization to come in and play with. And then you guys slammed the door. You had the great assist to this guy to help do that in the second half. That little baseline kind of behind your back pass, that was pretty. Oh my God, that was nice. Yeah. Really good shooter. I was trying to get him some shots, being back at the crib. Appreciate that. Letting him show out a little bit. But yeah, like I said, just playing unselfish. Our team has a lot of really good players and a lot of people that I trust to make the right play.
All right. Thanks. Congrats on being back and congrats on the win. Appreciate you.
I don't know how you stay focused like during this whole thing. It's actually like, it's your greatest attribute.
That was J-Dub with a little assist from Jared McCain, repaying the favor from that great pass on the baseline that Dub got for McCain. And that was J-Dub here tonight, Royce. Just in total playmaking mode. You see him find Hartenstein there early, and he was just straight downhill. The straight line drives were excellent from him.
Yeah, I thought you had a great call earlier in the game, Nick, just calling back to that game that he came back in the first time around, and just his approach to it, I think is a big part of what helps Dub integrate. He kind of gives the credit to his teammates, as you would expect. So many guys are selfless and team-minded, but what Dub, his approach to the game also is fits right in with that, is that he didn't come in trying to force anything, trying to get right back on the ball and say, let me clear out and kind of get myself back in rhythm. Let the game come to him. And when you do that sort of thing, it really helps maximize so many of the other skills you have. And that's really what J-Dub's all about. He does everything on the court. He's great defensively, great playmaker, great rebounder, and he can score. And I thought he looked as good in rhythm as you could expect him to tonight in a first game back from injury.
Yeah, this is an extreme compliment, but J-Dub is an all-NBA player who is a system player as well. And so he's been able to plug in some of these situations and just play the system. And he's been able to feast and help his teammates do the exact same. One of the guys who got going was the other Jalen Williams, J. Will, Ford player of the game. And he got going very quickly. Shai setting him up for three outside. What do you see from J. Will in these types of matchups when they're going to play bigs that try to drop back?
Yeah, that's a lot of it, Nick. You just see the attention that SGA is going to draw. That's attention Jared McCain's going to draw. He had a couple early threes. So now you got the defense, and they're just a little late on the rotations. And that's just one pass away right there where Philly's late to the ball in the corner. And that was the third one in a row that J. Will hit. That's just a defensive lapse by them. But J. Will also has worked so hard at quickening that release. I think that's a big part of it, is that he's not hesitating. He's very decisive on his three-point shooting. And we talked about off the top of this about that was a big part in this game, was OKC building that lead in the second quarter. J. Will was right in the middle of that, banging home those three straight threes.
Yeah, less than 10 shots, 18 points in 18 minutes off the bench, as effectively what Isaiah Hartenstein would call the Thunder's third starting center.
Yeah.
Hartenstein says this team is just chock full of guys who could start anywhere else in the league, but J. Will just coming in and doing a great job of executing to a T his role coming in off the bench.
And just doing other things too. He had that great and one finish as well, but I think one of the big areas of improvement that we've seen from J. Will this year is his rebounding. I think as a defensive rebounder, he plays with such physicality inside, and he has just done a great job of really, when he's the lone big or playing in the double big situations, he does such a good job of playing with that kind of physicality, adds a little bit of an edge to the team, which I think is great. And the screening, the passing, all those other things that he does, he's still finding areas to improve his game as well. We've seen a much better player all season long.
Yeah, such a professional approach, and that's what the Thunder has taken to this road trip. 4 games down and 1 to go. One more trip. Thunder shipping up to Boston, and after this break, we are going to talk about the battle between those two teams, two of the very best in the league, as the Thunder and Celtics matching up on Wednesday. We'll be right back after this.